You're listening to Success Up North. This podcast is a way for me to document my journey searching for success as a grower, family man, and business leader. I'll link with other leaders to highlight how they manage to do the boring work consistently and create their own version of success. Success is relative, but to me, it means relationships, families, teams, products, and solutions that get better every day. I'm grateful for you tuning in. Good morning. Headed into work. Uncovering this Sunday. Got to take care of the clones down in Building C. That's the clones that's going to make up our indoor and foundation of our greenhouse mother stock. And then got to check on the hemp cultivars that are flowering in the tent inside of Building C. Probably going to have to do a little bit of irrigating in both those situations, clones and the hemp in the tent that we're doing the pheno hunt on. Shout out to Davis Farms of Oregon. I owe Jeremy Klettke a phone call. I got to get back to him soon. Building B's got the indoor crop cranking. We are on, day 3 of flower. And everything's on drip, ready to rock. Probably just going to have to hit it for a 3-minute shot. Maybe again this afternoon. Probably going to need to mix up a couple tanks. Got 1 tank of Plant Life, 1 tank of Athena Pro. So we're running 2 tables on Plant Life and Plant Life's Exotic Ag blind, and then 2 tables on Athena. We are also running the greenhouse right now, so I got to go check on those moms, see how they're doing. Chris said that one of the peanut butter gelatos yesterday was drying out pretty good. So I'll probably go to the Building C, check on the clones, wipe the domes, check on the hemp, hit the indoor right after that, and after the indoor, go to the greenhouse. If I have to go back into the indoor this afternoon, I'm probably going to take a shower in between when I take a break and go home. It'll be interesting to see what I need to do to get everything done. Biosecurity is the main concern there, right? Because the greenhouse, we have the least amount of biosecurity. Building C is the most amount of biosecurity, and Building B has the most amount right now. So trying to tackle all of those buildings at the same time, in the same workday can be difficult. When we're working during the week, we've got folks that spend all their time in the indoor that day and then go into the greenhouse if they have to. Folks that start in the greenhouse don't go back into the indoor unless it's like 100% necessary for some reason. That's what's on the agenda. I'm excited about a Sunday solo day. Turn on some tunes, get to cranking, being in the grot. This is what I wake up and get excited for. I love leading teams. I love helping people grow, but I got into the business to be with the plants. And so getting, even if it's just a spoonful at a time each day of the plant touching, that's what drives me and gets me geeked up and kind of reinvigorates my curiosity and love for the business, love for the game of growing. I don't think this player will ever stop playing the game. And it's really exciting to tell myself that. It's liberating in that if I just focus as hardcore as possible on being the best grower I could be and the best leader I could be, then it's unreasonable to think that, a decade from now that there's not going to be some success that's been found. Looks like the snow cleared up a little bit out here. The road's looking a little bit better. We'll see what the driveway looks like when I enter. I'm going to go check the containers, make sure their temperature's tracking well. And then if you're looking for me, you can find me in Building C. All right. Been out at the farm since about 6:15. Had to get in early, check on the propagation, see if the little tweaks we made in the environment yesterday allowed us to have more turgor in the cuttings as they're taking root. It looked like it worked, adding some fertilizer solution down there in the reservoir of the tray so that it's not keeping the rock wool saturated or submerged, but creating enough of a microclimate of humidity to keep the domes fogged out and the plants turgid. We're running like 25 to 30% relative humidity inside the building that we're propagating in right now. So those domes are even struggling to keep up by themselves. So we had to add some moisture in there. Another piece of that is that the clones are not high density in these trays. We were taking low numbers of each cultivar to build a mother stock. So we might have had 5, 7, 12, 20 rock wool cubes, 1.5 by 1.5 in a tray, spaced out. So there wasn't a lot of vegetation or moisture to create the humidity that you usually see off of a full tray or a tray with a lot more plants in it. So we learned that. I had to get in and check it. Everything was good, but I also don't want to go the opposite way and be overly humid. We're on day like 6, I think, in that propagation cycle. So we got to make sure that we do start to have a little bit stress that pushes the plants to root. You know, they form callus and then they'll initiate. So I would say that what we did right away this morning is helping that, and that's opening up the vents on the domes just a smidge. You know, probably about a centimeter on one of the vents of the 2 vents on the dome. We'll probably open that up all the way by the end of the day and leave one open and then leave one closed. And then tomorrow, open the other one a little bit, you know, and like slowly wean them off so that they start to really put out roots and search. The indoor is doing well. It's still at a place where it doesn't need to be fully irrigated, all of the plants at once on drip. So we're doing a spot watering. Mr. Nate walked me through the procedures for mixing Plant Life and Athena batch tanks. Definitely was excited to brush up on my skills. It's interesting when you don't do it for a period of time and you're not physically doing the task, you start to forget. So being able to come in and do those things, learn from someone who I think does it very reliably and consistently is beneficial for me. It's also flexing my muscles. You know, I love flexing my grower muscles. I got into this business because I love growing. And sometimes at a desk or behind a computer or in the car or talking on the phone more than I am growing. And it's tough because there's a disconnect there. So getting the chance to work with the team like that and then independently like I did yesterday was highly valuable for me. And it's something I'm gonna double down on. I'm gonna continue to work on Sundays in the crop. I don't know if I'll be solely responsible for the farm on Sundays, but I'm gonna be responsible for part of it so that I can do those tasks and make sure that I understand them well enough to be able to objectively evaluate them and make them better. And also hear feedback from our team on what's working and what's not working. Something that could happen if I'm not in the crop spending time doing these tasks, I could hear, one of the team members talking about how this sucks or this is hard to do or this is a challenge because of X, Y, or Z. Well, if it's a challenge and it doesn't seem like that big of a challenge to me, or I don't feel the pain of it, that team member may be voicing their concern over and over and over and feel like they're not heard because the pain isn't deep enough until they speak up with, a lot of fire saying, holy shit, this is fucked. I need help now. They might not get heard. And that's tough because it's not that I don't want to listen. It's that there's a lot of different priorities on things to improve. And so you're filing them in these priority categories and you hear once, you hear twice about this challenge and it's, on the list, but it's not a top priority. Well, when you get into the crop and physically do it, you start to reevaluate those priorities. Like, how are we going to make the growing process more efficient so we can save money on labor and we can have more margin on every pound we produce? there's a lot of little things that add up to doing that. And so if you don't understand the nuances in the little things, then it can be hard to really make change. And that's what I think being in the crop, physically getting after it, does for a leader. Now, I also have to balance the amount of time that I do spend in the crop with the time that I'm working on the business and not in the business. And so having that balance of on the business versus in the business is something that I would say every leader, entrepreneur, business division, department leader, whatever that looks like, has to deal with, is like, how do I improve systems, but also know enough about the systems and be interacting enough with the team and the systems to make sure they're all operating at fullest capacity and with as much joy as possible. A lot of food for thought this morning. I'm having a hell of a time. I love what I do. I love growing. I'm obsessed with it. I'll never stop. I'll be in this business for life. There's no doubt about that. And that's super liberating. I think that's, to me, it's like I'm always going to get better. Like I'm never going to stagnate because I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. And I love learning. So that's the mentality that I'll continue to have and that will drive me.
You were listening to Success Up North. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave a review. The true litmus test of this podcast's impact is what listeners say about it. If you found value in this content, please share it with others. If you'd like access to video and written content like this, let's connect on LinkedIn. Until next time, just grow with it.